Yo, 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 yo. What's popping with the gang, man? It's the Reaper Gang boss, Mr. Two Hands Up. Fah Fah. You already know what it is. Man, y'all already know the lingo. You know what I mean? Your boy might be a couple minutes late, but I'm always here, though. I'm always here when I need to be, though. But shout out to everybody, man. We gotta kick this thing off. Hopefully, I can have this thing go at least an hour. I wanted to, what I'm saying, go like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because it's been a while. But man, there's some crazy shit going on in my personal life, though. Some shit I gotta handle. So I'm gonna try to make this thing go for as long as I can tonight. Hope everybody is well wherever y'all at. Y'all already know the world been monster crazy, so I hope everybody good. If you're working or you driving home, I hope you're safe and all that. You know what I mean? But past the small talk, man. Let's get busy. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole Reapers worldwide, because all my Reapers are from all around the world. So shout out to y'all, man. And I hope everybody, you know what I mean, is living good and prospering how you supposed to, man. So big up yourselves, man. Big up your accomplishments, man, and just big up, you know what I'm saying, that you woke up this morning, man. So let's pop off, man. Y'all already know how we do it. Boxing is heating up. I feel very blessed to be a part of it. I feel very blessed, it's all the strides I've made in this thing in such a short amount of time. So when good things happen in boxing, I have to praise it. And believe it or not, if any of you guys are the ones, or the we very few, or the select very few, I should say, that things do say is a Canelo hater, oh, you definitely want to come around this episode, or you definitely want to catch this episode on playback, because you know what I'm saying? I'm about to show your boy some mad love. I'm about to show him mad love. But I don't want to jump too far ahead of the gun and give too much love too early until, contracts are signed. But I've been paying very close attention to what's going on. I hear people saying a lot of dumb things, like this man ducking Jamal Charlo, and he's the easiest one of the opponents that he could possibly face right now. But I just wanted to say this. How long have I been saying that if Canelo Alvarez fights a guy like Dimitri Bivol, that he will get all the respect in the world from me? How long have I been saying that shit? I've been saying it for quite some time. And right now, from what I've been hearing, and from what news sources and news outlets from all around the world are saying, that he's close to signing that 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. Now, I could really care less about the third Triple G fight, because at this point, Triple G's off 2 years of inactivity. I'm not a big fan of the whole ring rust myth or nothing like that. I feel like if you're a fighter, you're supposed to be fighting all the time. You stand on top of it. You on your Andre Ward, 10 boxing commandments kind of vibe. But if not, it's not really one of those fights that I particularly are fond of. I could care less about it. Like Triple G, his inactivity. But if he's coming off, a very good Murata, if he fights, if the Murata fight goes down how it's supposed to go down, and he's victorious, then yeah, that adds stock to that. It just all depends on how dominant he is. Maybe he needed that 2 years off, you know what I'm saying, to recover. I know the Sergey Derevyanchenko fight was really, really freaking tough for a guy that was 37, 38 years old. But beyond all of that BS, he's fighting Bivol first if he signs the contract. And I truly feel as though there are only possibly 2 to 3 fighters in the world that could really give Canelo, a BC powder size migraine. And that's Dimitri Bivol being one of them, Demetrius Andre being the other, stylistically speaking, and David Benavidez, just because, his offense, he pours it on real raw. I think, he can take a punch very well. I think, he likes to stay dominant, real dominant on the front foot. But out of all 3 of those guys, Bivol and Andre, I would say probably give him the most hell. But Bivol's that 175 guy that I feel like, would go who would go undisputed at 175 if anybody, decides to nut up and want to fight the guy. But it seems like nobody wants to fight the guy. So I commend Canelo for this level of activity. And you guys should too. And if you don't know anything about Dimitri Bivol, I feel as though you should get familiar, because, if Canelo goes out here and fights this guy and he's victorious, you can't say nothing about this dude at this point. I can't say nothing about him at this point. I don't care about whatever it was whatever or however it was. But speaking on that level of opposition, it doesn't get any higher than that. So when you got a guy like him that's going to go and fight a prime and ready 31-year-old, 175 killer, not somebody sagging and weak like a Sergey Kovalev, but I'm talking about the top of the tops. WBA champion Dimitri Bivol getting his second belt at 175. I don't care if he went up there and he stepped down, but he came back. And that's what's most important. You're going back to the dirty work. And if he's successful in that area, I can't do nothing but respect this guy, man. You got to give him his respect. You got to respect him as a pound-for-pound fighter, you know, the second pound-for-pound fighter in the world, because, of course, I got Usyk #1. But if Canelo fights Usyk and he wins, you got to put them dudes like neck and neck, man, because I don't think people really understand the type of, you know, problems Usyk presents for Canelo. Like, if Canelo takes this fight, bro, it's got to be a hell of a lucrative contract because he's risking a lot. And I don't think people are really, you know, putting that on there, you know what I'm saying, a measuring stick. Like, yo, this man is really risking a lot taking that fight. And to take that fight first and to go out Cinco de Mayo and fight a guy like that and give the world a bang like that, bro, I got to give him hella respect for that because that's a dangerous fight. And Dimitri Bivol ain't going in the ring to just lay down. He ain't proud to be in the ring and share space with Canelo when it comes to the face-off. He ain't all, you know what I'm saying, like starstruck or nothing like that. He's really coming to do the work. And when you got fighters that are coming to do the work against the other fighter who's arguably, you know, the most marquee fighter in the world, like, yo, I have nothing but respect for that. And that's all I've ever wanted for this guy. All I've ever wanted was to see him against an opponent who was definitely fresh in his prime, somebody that could really hurt him, somebody that could really test him, somebody that could really push him to the limits, so I could really give him the grade that everybody else gives him. And I feel as though if he goes out there and he takes this fight and he's victorious in this fight, then I could give him nothing but that grade. And then I have nothing but great things to say about him because, contrary to belief, he's an amazing fighter. He's definitely an amazing fighter, hard puncher, heavy on the front foot, knows his mid-range, knows his strengths and his weaknesses very well, knows how to get off on a guy first or knows how to get off on you counter and come back with the rights or the left. He's very freaking sharp. He's poised, you know what I'm saying? You never catch him, you know, throwing any wild, insignificant shots when he gets hit with a bomb. Like, he's a very, very good fighter. He's a skilled fighter, gets his head off the line very well, even if he doesn't have all of the movement in the world. He works very well within what he has. And what he has, I feel like he operates at the top of his game. But considering that he's at the top of his game, that's why I want so much for him. So for him to go out here and entertain somebody like that, I couldn't be any more proud to be a boxing fan for real. So if that fight takes place, man, I'm just here to let y'all know, man. You heard it first at Reaper Gang Radio. Yo, this is the one. And this is the one that everybody should have on their radar and be ready to motherfucking see because them niggas are going to hurt each other. Somebody's really going to get hurt. Really, honestly, both of them really going to get hurt. Because skill for skill, that shit is a fucking nightmare. And that's a long night for any one of them, yo. And we all know when it comes to the best fighting the best, it's always a grueling long night. Unless somebody get caught with that heavy haymaker that put them to sleep. But the way they operate in their skills, I don't see that happen. That's going to be a sharp chess match, man. These dudes are both going to have to pick each other apart. And on other news, it is official. They were kind of back and forth on the date. It was between the 12th and the 19th. So we definitely have Brian Castano versus Jamel Charlo going down on March 19th. So, you know, all is good, man. Life is good in the boxing world right now. And we got Dillian Whyte taking on Tyson Fury on April 23rd. Yo, I wish I could pull up this picture right now. But if anybody got me on Twitter, have you guys seen Tyson Fury lately? Like, literally, have you seen him lately? That's all I want to know. Have you seen the dude lately? George, salute. If anybody has seen this guy, man, look, man, Tyson Fury looks bad, bro. He looks bad. He really looks bad. And I'm not saying, you know, Tyson Fury always come with the most cut up physique, but you can visibly see that he's definitely a couple of months out of the way. He's definitely been very undisciplined in my eyes. And, you know, there have been people been telling me, yo, they've been spotting that man sniffing coke in Las Vegas, allegedly. So if Tyson Fury think he's going to go in there with that type of body against, you know, Dillian Whyte going to hurt him. I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all seen the picture I saw of this dude, you know, working with the bag and everybody saying that he was showing all of this great speed. I'm here to tell you now. By the way, shout out to George. Appreciate you with the super sticker, brother. I'm here to tell y'all right now. Tyson Fury does not look good. He doesn't look good. Significantly out of weight, out of shape, just looks bad. And, you know, they in the media trying to praise this guy right now, talking about, you know, he's in the ring showing off in the gym that superior hand speed and that superior movement. Bro. Like, let's be honest here. He fought Deontay Wilder in his last 2 fights. He hasn't fought anybody since then. He doesn't have, we don't really know. How do we really know how this guy can really move? How do we really know how this guy really looks? How do we really know how this guy really gets down when it comes to the opposition? Because the Tyson Fury of old that fought Derek Chisora, that fought Vladimir Klitschko and that freaking snoozer, regardless of whether we want to believe it or not, he's not carrying the same weight then as he's carrying now. He went into a completely different transformation, and Sugar Hill made him a completely different fighter. Now he sat down on his feet or whatever. Like, he gets, you know what I'm saying, he can get on his toes a little bit, but he's more sat down and he's throwing punches, and believe it or not, they lazy and they real stationary. Now, I'm not saying Dillian Whyte is one of the best movers in the world, but I do feel like, you know, Dillian Whyte is a very heavy puncher against proven fighters and against proven opposition, to where he's going to want to have the ability to move around the ring. He just can't sit there and slug with Dillian Whyte, and you definitely don't want to get Dillian Whyte on the inside. And I feel like he's been prepped for that for some time, considering that he's done fought Wach and he's fought Hellenius and guys like that. So he's fought guys with dimensions. I mean, shit, if you think about the Wach fight, I mean, what did Dillian weigh for that fight? I think Dillian was somewhere up. We know Dillian can walk around and fight you at 270 pounds. No problem. He fought Marius Wach at what? Like 268 to 270 pounds? So he can fight you at that weight, and he can present a problem for you. But if you're going to have it, if you're walking around with that big blubber, like, you know what I'm saying, like Mr. Hostess heavyweight type body that you're carrying right now, when you're supposed to be fighting that guy, and that guy's been waiting to get a hold of you for about 4 years now with some change, I feel like there are some things you are going to need to change up. And I feel like you might need to be doing a little bit more. And I don't know if Tyson Fury is really like all the way locked in, like this is a serious fight for him or not. Now, you know, I know he joking all of that, and he play around and all of that, but like, bro, play around with Dillian if he wants to. And all of these fans out here are consistently sleep at the wheel. 24/7 they sleep at the wheel. They always think that this dude, like, just because one person says something or a fighter calls somebody a shit house or they say he's trash or whatever, yo, and you just are completely dismissive of the work this guy put in and you don't watch him and you don't pay attention, I pity the fool, because he definitely ain't no shit house. He definitely ain't no scrub. And he's definitely not somebody that you just going to be able to get over like that. I promise you it's different. I'm here to tell y'all, I ain't never lied to y'all before. If y'all think Dillian Whyte is going to be some pushover for Tyson Fury, the same Tyson Fury who's got knocked on his ass by Steve Cunningham, the same Tyson Fury who uppercuts himself in the face, the same Tyson Fury who should have never got dropped 2 times by Deontay Wilder. I'm not talking about the first fight. I'm talking about the third fight. You got another thing coming. You really might need to watch what's going on. Because, I mean, if you want to think of it, if you want to measure the type of opposition they've been fighting, Dillian has been doing way more dirty work. And he hurts them. So don't think Tyson Fury, if he getting dropped by Steve Cunningham, that Dillian Whyte won't go in there and drop his motherfucking ass, because it will happen and it can happen. So I don't know why people just got this whole thought that, you know, Tyson Fury good no matter what. No heavyweight fighter is good no matter what. No heavyweight fighter is going to be able to just go out there and just show out. We talking about the top level. Martin Ramos, salute. We're not talking about the bottom of the shit. We're talking about the top level of boxing. We're talking about the top 5 rankings of boxing. And I ain't talking that WBA shit. We talking about the real top 5 fighters in boxing. And I'm talking literally, you know, shit. I mean, yeah, definitely in the top 5. I would say, you know, you could probably swap it around and feel however you want to feel about 1 through 3. To be perfectly honest, I mean, shit, you might even want to look at Dillian Whyte as the 3rd best heavyweight in the division right now. And that ain't even no capping. That's 100% fact. Other than the fact that Anthony Joshua beat him, but Anthony Joshua just took a loss too. Dillian Whyte's coming off of wins, you know what I'm saying? Got clipped against Povetkin, but I mean, shit, he just went out there and shattered Povetkin too. So, I mean, shit, anybody could arguably look at Dillian Whyte as the 3rd best heavyweight in the world right now. So you can look at it like the number 2 or number 3 guy, if that's how you feel about it anecdotally or whatever the case may be. If that's your personal preference, you can truly look at it like that. That the 2 or 3 or the number 2 and number top 4 or 5 guy are literally about to go at it. And this ain't no easy recipe for disaster for anybody. As a matter of fact, it might be upset city because nobody thinks that Dillian Whyte has a chance in this fight. I'm betting a lot of money on this shit. I know what's going to happen. I believe you me, I'm telling you, watch the body work. Everybody going to be looking for all of this fucking insignificant head hunting and all of this bullshit going on. I promise you, watch the body work. Carlos Rosado, salute. Dillian was 271 against Wak, but his best is between 245 and 255. That's nimble. That's light. Still great puncher at that weight for sure, George. And as a matter of fact, I mean, you can tell. I mean, am I the only one that sees the difference in Dillian Whyte since he's been training with Xavier Miller? Even though none of us really knew anything about this guy. I mean, does anybody see the difference in his movement and his jab, and the way he goes about his work? Now he's a little bit more, he seems a little refined. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. He looks like a refined, nuanced heavyweight who's definitely learning new things, implementing them very quickly. So that means he's a stickler for boxing knowledge, has a high IQ, and he's and the ability to translate that with such a short time, with such a steep learning curve. I'd have to, commend Dillian Whyte for how he's come along in his heavyweight career and where he sits right now. Man, shout out to UK boxing, man. Shout out to you. As a matter of fucking fact, shout out to heavyweight UK boxing. Because for real, they the lifeblood of the sport right now. All of the best heavyweight boxers in the world are literally in Europe right now. Ain't that some shit? You really can't point to one heavyweight American fighter that is in the top 5. Somebody go ahead and say Wilder so I can lose my shit. Somebody go ahead and say Skinny so I can lose my shit. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. My brain cannot afford an aneurysm right now. I promise you that. I need to be neurologically sound. It's a lot of great stuff going on. I got a lot of great content coming up. I'm really feeling the vibes of the heavyweight boxing world. I'm really feeling the vibes at 154. I mean, what more can I ask for? I'm feeling the vibes around 168 to 175. I'm feeling the vibes, bro. I'm feeling the vibes. Boxing looks good. It looks really good right now. We got upsets and shit going on. We got new champions being crowned. We got good matches. Anybody, look. Yo, it was so unfortunate watching Mario Barrios fight Keith Thurman. What was it, last weekend, man? Just throw this in here real quick, man. That dude looked like he was about to cry. And the fact that he was getting smacked up like that with 10-ounce gloves, man, that just shows you, man, you just can't just, it's good to go out there and see if you can sink and swim, but there's a difference in guys like Wilfred Benitez and Mario Barrios. I mean, you can have a different level of confidence in a Teofimo Lopez than you can have in a Mario Barrios. You get what I'm saying? Like a Teofimo Lopez, a guy who has more skill going up against a Vasily Lomachenko, you might, I don't know. But then when you watch Mario Barrios get punched up by Tank Davidson and you watch them going in back-to-back against Keith Thurman, I'm like, man, this dude promotional company could truly not give a fuck about this kid. They're just using him as a sacrificial lamb. Look at his nose. Did you guys see his nose? Did you? What's up, Fish? Salute. He's like, you see Dillian Whyte winning the Fury fight. Just curious. I'm betting the house on him, Carlos. I'm not even bullshitting you. I'm betting the house on Dillian Whyte. Have you seen freaking muffin tops lately? Have you seen this guy's waist? Have you seen this guy's stomach? Have you man, look, I've heard about this dude doing so many felonious drugs, like, bro. And then it literally shows if you look at him. Like, I've seen Tyson Fury in shape and I've seen Tyson Fury out of shape. And this kind of resembles like Tyson Fury is literally teetering on going back to being like a 350 plus my 600 pound life TLC kind of documentary, if I really want to speak honest to the situation. I'm definitely betting all my money with William Hill I'm betting all my money with all my buddies when it comes to Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Yes, I absolutely see him winning this fight. And I see him being a bigger problem than people are really giving him. He's a hell of a problem. And honestly, let's be honest. Tyson Fury can't take a punch like that, right or wrong. It's proven. He might get up, but I mean, we can base that off of who's punching him. But does anybody think that Dillian Whyte hits light in this room? Does anybody think that Dillian Whyte is feather-fisted? Does anybody here think that Dillian Whyte doesn't have one-punch KO power? Does anybody in here truly believe that Dillian Whyte can't hurt the muffin top guy? Like, yo, it's a problem for you when you have a guy who is notorious with punching the body, who is willing to go work on your lower frame, who is willing to build his success from the ground up when it comes to putting in his work when it comes to you. He's starting from the basement and he's working to the roof. And if you're built soft like that, I don't care what you think you're showing me when you're working out in the gym and you're getting a medicine ball supposedly smashed against your gut. It's different when you got a guy like that punching. I mean, shit, when Dillian Whyte hit the machine, what did he hit that shit with? Like, how many pounds of pressure did he hit that fucking machine with on the zone? Dude hits different. He carries his weight different. He walks around like, you know, in his masculine frame, he walks around like 270, you know what I'm saying, with muscle on him like nothing. Like nothing. Like, look at like, here's the best way to describe it. We've seen Tyson Fury at 273 pounds, correct? 271 to 273. We've seen Dillian Whyte at 270. You see the difference? Man, I'm telling you, when Dillian Whyte gets to operating on Tyson Fury's body, he's going to have problems, man. He's going to have problems. He's going to want to lean on him. He's going to want to try to hold him and tie him up. Look, Tyson Fury is going to try. Look, this is what makes this fight like so intriguing, right? Because Tyson Fury really has to decide how he wants to do this. Like I said, we've seen this guy get dropped by a cruiserweight. We've seen him get cut up and touched up. And we even seen Otto Wallen hurt him. We've seen a couple of people hurt Tyson Fury. He's got hit by Deontay Wilder when this motherfucker was damn near on his deathbed in the third fight, and he dropped twice. And still to this day, I don't know if Deontay Wilder punches hard or not. I've seen him punch a 50-year-old guy, and I've seen him punch Tyson Fury, who we know going to hit the canvas anytime you touch him flush. So I don't know if he can punch, but I do know Dillian Whyte can punch. So what makes this shit so intriguing, guys, for me, is the fact that if I'm really thinking about this shit with a sound box in mind, and Tyson Fury approaching this fight, and how Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury are going to go about their work, are they going to go mid to long range with it, stay outside and try to work behind the jab, and just solely try to win rounds? And if they're going to do so, how long are they going to be able to stay on the outside? How long are they going to be able to go trying to pop the jab? And how long are they going to be able to go exerting that type of energy before Dillian Whyte catches up to him, the body shots catch up to him, and then the one head shot that you might think is going to the body that ends up touching you and the head catches up to you? How long is he going to be able to operate like that? Or is he going to try to come forward on the front foot like he did with Deontay Wilder? Two completely different specimens here. You just can't walk up on Dillian Whyte. And if you think you're going to lay any type of weight on him, if you think you're going to bully him, you got another thing coming. He's going to throw that motherfucker to the floor. And he's not just going to be able to lay on him. See, it's different when you're fighting guys that don't have no particular type of, you know, championship pedigree, know what it's like, you know, fighting on a championship level, don't know what it's like defending, you know, against like world champions or going back to back against tough, you know, top 10 heavyweight opposition like that. It's different when you fighting those type of guys and they have absolutely no idea what to do. When they grow in the ring, it's kind of like a toss of a freaking coin at the beginning of the Super Bowl. Heads or tails, you really don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of like, fuck it, we're going to learn on the job. Hey, we might have wanted the kick, but we receiving, fuck it, so we just going to have to figure out how we going to get this shit done. I'm just saying, it's different when you're going against an Otto Wallen and you're going against Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte seen it on all different levels. He done fought the dangerous punches. He done fought the long punches, the tall punches, the short punches. I mean, he done fought them all. So it's kind of like, where is Tyson Fury's safe space if it comes down to Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill putting their game plan together? I really don't know what that is, and I really don't know truly what that looks like. Because for me, if I'm his trainer, there's only one or two things he can do. He can either be the big guy, or he can be the big guy in two different ways. You can be the big guy that puts pressure on the front foot, or you can be the big guy that gets behind the crunk 1-2. Now, which one of those situations are going to work for you? Because truly, I can't identify and say I really know, because I've seen a vulnerable Tyson Fury before. I haven't really seen a vulnerable Dillian Whyte. I've seen Dillian Whyte vulnerable twice. That's because he's got hit by two significant punchers. We know Povetkin can punch. We damn sure know Anthony Joshua can punch. But other than that, I haven't seen him vulnerable. I mean, we seen him get clipped by Oscar Rivas, but we know damn well that Oscar Boom Rivas can punch. So it's different levels. So for me, I'm like, yo, this guy's damn near 6'10". How is he going to be able to operate for 12 rounds against a guy that's that dangerous and be able to move around the ring when his coach already has it in his mind that the best Tyson Fury carries that the best Tyson Fury and the punching Tyson Fury sits at around 270 pounds. But that Tyson Fury isn't moving around the ring that well. That Tyson Fury gets gassed out in about 5 freaking rounds. That Tyson Fury was going against a low IQ fighter that can only operate in one way. And the only thing you got to worry about is which way is the windmill going to flow. This isn't that type of fight. This is the type of fight that you really got to take serious, and you really got to decide what you're going to want to do. Is he going to have a high wind tank, or is he going to just try to come forward and just roll over him and steamroll him like a tank? I don't think Tyson Fury can really come forward. I don't think Tyson Fury can afford to really get in close with him like that. I don't know. So for me, I think the best bet is for him to try to live it on the outside. Because if he plays the inside game, he's playing it dangerous. And if he gets clipped, man, good night, Irene. I'm just saying, can't nobody tell me it ain't good night, Irene, when Steve Cunningham could have you flat on your fucking back, dude. This shit different. He won't be able to lead on Whyte. He has an MMA background. That's exactly what I just said. I said Dillian Whyte is too strong. He's got significant core strength. He's got significant upper body strength. Yo, he's got significant strength everywhere. And he's well planted in his guard. So if you try to lean on this dude, he can clearly pivot you, put you up against the ropes, and bust your fucking body up and bust your head up. And my thing is, Tyson Fury, it looks really good when you're going against Deontay Wilder, guys. It looks really good when you're going against somebody who is green, that the world hyped up to be the great black hype that never really was. That was more of kind of like the court jester of the boxing world that just lived his life on rant, bomb squad, that type of bullshit. That's different. But when you're dealing with a guy who really knows who he is, who really has a boxing IQ, who really has a thudding punch, is Tyson Fury going to be able to do all of that ducking underneath of punches and there's not an uppercut waiting for him if the hook flies first? Is Tyson Fury going to be able to use all that upper body strength to be able to weave punches and fly punches back for the entirety of the evening? Because you can't count this as it's going to be a short night for Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury doesn't have one punch knockout power. So on his end, they got to decide, realistically, how is this going to work out? Because we know we're going to have to be here for a while. And if they really want to touch him up like that, they got to do this kind of shit that they did against Derek Chisora. Can he use and withstand that type of attack for the duration of however long that fight is going to be? And is he going to be able to punch in volume like that with that guy? That is a question we don't know, but I think I really already know the answer to that question. And it's a resounding no. I'm just saying, this fight is kind of spooky. So when wholeheartedly people say, I don't really know if Tyson Fury is going to take it, I don't really know if he's going to take it, I'm simply like, I see where people are coming from if they're thinking with a box in mind. But we know the contract was already sent, so I've heard. So for me, I think we really have action here. But my whole thing is, how does that take place? How does that really look? Dillian Whyte has a lot of things working in his favor where Dillian Whyte can truly, I mean truly and wholeheartedly steal the show and really be to UK what Anthony Joshua already is. Dillian Whyte could not be that +2, but he could be that #1 guy. Real shit. There's nothing about Dillian Whyte that you cannot like. We can't say Tyson Fury's going to go in there and he's just going to out-talk him. You can't out-talk Dillian Whyte. You can't fear-monger him. You ain't going to be able to fear-monger Dillian Whyte. You can't bully him. You can't Brody him. You can't punk him. You can't say there's any like long, there's a long list of freaking bones building up or skeletons building up in his closet because he lived his life in the open. What can Tyson Fury really do that already says significantly that he has the upper hand in this situation, other than individuals saying that Tyson Fury can really box? But then once again, I would have to consistently ask everybody, how does that look with Tyson Fury being at 270 pounds and trying to be on the outside, boxing like he's some fleet of foot middleweight? Let's be realistic here. The guy's damn near 6'10". And he got the body of somebody who enjoys a little too many ice creams. I ain't gonna stunt. He got a warm potato salad physique himself. So I'm just saying, great fight, but I'm just curious because I really like to, you know what I'm saying, get hypothetically behind the breakdown because there are certain things that I want to know that I just want to clue in and be like, man, how's he really going to go about this? Because this shit is truly dangerous. It's truly dangerous. So when I'm saying all of these things, don't shoot the messenger. Don't look at me like I'm some hater. No, I'm just a motherfucker who's really willing to tell you the truth about what you're going to get on both sides of this fight and what you're going to look for. Because honestly, when I talk this shit, if you're a betting man, it could potentially work in your favor because there's a lot more cons on Tyson Fury's end, and there's a lot more questions that need to be answered than on Dillian Whyte's end. Now, somebody can tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, but I swear to God, I wholeheartedly feel like that. He really can win the fight. Tyson Fury can win the fight too. It's a 50-50 fight. All I'm saying is, it's just like Tyson Fury hasn't given me, since Tyson Fury has made his so-called resurgence in the boxing world, he hasn't given me the necessary type of fights that I needed to see so I have full understanding of what he's going to be able to deal with. Because Otto Wallen had him pressured. Pressured. And people can try to say it was the cut, it's whatever. But nobody who is that green should have you in that position. Not him. Not if he's the so-called heavyweight champion that everybody perceives him to be. All I'm saying is you got to assess the threat for what it really is. And this is a high-level threat. And this is equally as much as a gambling proposition, just as much as Dimitri Bivol is a hell of a gambling proposition for Canelo Alvarez that you got to balance out on your scales and say, shit, one slip. Here's the difference with Dillian Whyte. One slip on Tyson Fury's end, and the fight is over. Dillian Whyte don't have to worry about that. He really doesn't have to worry about that. How many times did Tyson Fury punch the teenage mutant ninja chicken leg, Deontay Wilder, and it took him to soften him up and hit the floor? You can call it heart, you can call it adrenaline, you can call it whatever you want. I call it a 6'10" guy that couldn't find one punch power against a guy that thin. A guy with that type of chin. All I'm saying is, cruiserweights knocked him on his ass. Dillian Whyte punches way harder than anybody's been in the ring with, way more skilled than anybody's been in the ring with lately. Vlad was a long time ago. Hey, if this was a Janet Jackson R&B song, we would have to ask, what the fuck has Tyson Fury done for us lately? Dillian Whyte isn't enough for me to say that, hey, He's all the way up in, I mean, excuse me, Deontay Wilder isn't enough for me to say, hey, he's up on his bullshit. He's completely ready for what he's about to go up against. I guarantee Sugar Hill is motherfucking sweating cold bullets when he sleeps at night. If I was his trainer, I would be sweating bullets when it comes to the game plan. Because you got to decide what the hell is really going to work for us in this situation. Because he's coming. Pause. No matter how you see it, no matter how you slice it, Dillian Whyte's coming. And he's going to get a hold of him. And he's going to press the inside. And he really doesn't have to, you know, be some, he don't have to be shy about wanting to go in there and, you know what I'm saying, worry about wavering when it comes to the contact and in that battle per se. Am I getting a little too ahead of myself by saying that here? I don't know. I don't know if I'm far off in saying what I'm saying. I don't know if I really got to run back and really think about what I'm saying in this situation. And Dillian Whyte presents an awkward style for him. Dillian Whyte isn't what you see in every other boxer or any other boxer that necessarily carries the same type of particular style. You know how you could look at one fighter and say, he kind of reminds you of this guy, and this guy kind of reminds you of that guy. Who the fuck reminds you of Dillian Whyte? Honestly. Who in the heavyweight division right now reminds you of Dillian Whyte? I honestly can't say. I don't know who does. I don't know. Shout out to George with the super chat. He says, Dillian is weird in that when he wins fights, it's like a street fighter with a high ring IQ to accommodate his lack of speed minus the weirdly fast left hook. That's what I'm saying. It's an extremely awkward style that I really can't point fingers and look to another person and say, he fights like that guy. Let's break down this and that, and this is the way we can go about our work on that evening. I truly don't know. This is in all realms of the unknown for Tyson Fury, to where it's like, bro, we're gambling with a lot here, but this is our mandatory. We have no way out of this without shaking the belt. We have no way out of this situation without shaking the belt. And Tyson, look, contrary to belief and contrary to what people want you to believe because they want you to sidestep or whatever and just give you what you want, give us what we want to see. Nobody's bigger than the belts, bro. And to act like Tyson Fury is the same individual, if he shakes that belt and shakes this fight, I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. You're wrong. Fighters have to be proven in that division, in all divisions. And everybody is all, and correct me if I'm wrong as well, but everybody has said that since Deontay Wilder that this guy was easy work. He's easy work. So if that's the case, then there should be no problem with him going out there and doing that in that fashion. But from what I just told you guys, and from what I believe, hypothetically speaking, I don't know if it's not a hot knife through butter, bro. It's more like you taking that cold block of butter and trying to cut a piece off and put that shit on your toast that just popped out and shit, and that shit just don't even want to fucking move. There's complications there is basically what I'm saying. And honestly, I feel like, you know, Dillian Whyte gets the rest easy in a lot of areas, you know, when it comes to, you know, the warfare that is heavyweight boxing, the physical and mental warfare that is heavyweight boxing. I feel like the chess pieces are a lot more aligned. I feel like as they're moving across the board, rooks, bishops, knights, I think that, you know, he's got a little bit more of I think he's really got a little bit more of a more strategic advantage on the battlefield right now. He has a lot of things working in his favor. And there's nothing wrong with tipping a hat to that or saying that, because I'm saying it because Tyson Fury hasn't given me much to go off of. And this is the type of shit that gets you in trouble when you haven't had much to go off of. This is the top 5 level. This ain't no easy breezy walk in the park. We seen him try to do that shit with Otto. And that's why I say, like, the disrespect for Dillian Whyte is out of control, because if you're doing that shit with Otto, what is he going to do with Dillian? I'm just saying. Tyson definitely going to have to train for this fight. He comes in looking like potato salad again. He about to get smashed like I smashed my wife. Easy. Easy. He'll get beat up. And I mean, look, for real, Tyson's easy to cut. He's easy to touch. And I'm not saying he's easy to touch in a sense where, like, yo, the dude doesn't, this isn't a triangle theory. This isn't no triangle theory. Steve Cunningham touched him. Otto Wallin touched him. Everybody he's fought was able to touch him. Deontay Wilder doesn't have any skills. He doesn't have any skills whatsoever. All he had to do was go on the front foot. And he put him on his ass twice. Even when he had nothing left in the fight, he put him on his ass twice. He can't, this is weight, this is size, this is dimensions. This is just me equating hypothetical math when it comes to the boxing ring. He's a 6'10", 6'9" guy who gives you 5 rounds of work, then he gives you another 7 rounds of leaning on you and trying to maul you with everybody that he's ever fought. He's not fighting at the weight that he used to fight the Chisoras at. He's not fighting at the weight that he used to fight Vlad at. He's not going to be able, you can't move around with that much weight for 12 rounds. It's impossible. He doesn't hurt anybody. These are facts. What is Tyson Fury's KO rating? So if you're thinking that I'm getting twisted on some triangle theory with Dillian Whyte, you got me fucked up. These are the facts of the matter when it comes to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury does not punch. He has no knockout power. So if you don't have knockout power and you don't have the ability to move around the ring for 12 rounds, so you can't stay fleet of foot, you can't stay long range, he's too big that he can't put 5 or 6 or 7 punch combinations together all night, what is going to happen? We know Dillian Whyte got knockout power. We know Dillian Whyte knows how to fight a tall guy. We know Dillian Whyte knows how to get inside. We do know that Tyson Fury hasn't fought anybody with any significant skill in his last 4 fights. Since he's been back, he's fought Francisco Pianeta, Sefer Safari, Otto Wallin, and he's fought Deontay Wilder. And Otto Wallin and Deontay Wilder were able to touch this man and have him in significant danger. Dillian Whyte is better than all of those individuals. Fought tougher opposition than all of those individuals. When it comes to their records, him and Anthony Joshua have the 2 most decorated records and the best resumes in the heavyweight division right now. So what I'm speaking to is, this is the reality of the situation. Tyson Fury has a lot of shit working against him in this fight. And the only thing that is a question mark for me in this situation is, which one are you going to get? Is he going to want to come down to about 260, 255? Nah, he's not. He's fucking muffin tops right now. I've seen him. The guy looks like he's clearly about 290, a straight slop right now. His coach likes to train him big, wants him to carry around his weight, wants him to have more punch. He doesn't punch like that. He doesn't knock anybody out like that. So if you don't have a punch that's going to tame you, if you don't have a punch that can keep him off of you, then what does that mean? He's going to come forward. Dillian Whyte has knockout power. He's knocked out top 10 guys consistently. What does that mean? He's in trouble and he gets pressed. He's got dropped by a cruiserweight, a cruiserweight, a cruiserweight. Do you think Dillian Whyte hits harder than Steve Cunningham? Because I surely do. And I think it's goddamn, it's worlds in between their punch power. So what I'm saying is, if you're going into a situation like this, and clearly the WBC is already, they all out of juke moves. It's over. There are no more juke moves. This is what it is. You got to pull up, you got to show up, and you got to show out. But my thing is, he working with a lot more, he got a lot more cons than Dillian got pros when it comes to this fight right now in my eyes. This ain't no hate. This is just straight up how I view it and how I see it stylistically. What can Tyson Fury do that is going to make Dillian Whyte honest in that fight? Is it going to be his jab? Is it going to be his movement? Is it going to be his feint? Does he have a devastating uppercut? I don't believe he does. Does he have a devastating hook? I don't believe he does. He stands square when he punches. So he takes so he doesn't put any torque on his punches. So he takes power away from his shot because he don't put all of his weight into it. I'm just saying. What is going to make Dillian Whyte honest in this fight? Is he going to be able to lay on him? Is Dillian Whyte going to give him that? Is he going to be able to lay on him this fight, tire him out, fatigue him throughout the course of the evening? I'm saying this because these are all questions I need answers to. So when I'm speaking the pros and cons, I don't care about the triangle. I'm focused on the squared circle. I'm doing a whole different type of geometry. And people can say they don't like necessarily or get behind triangle theories or whatever the case may be. But when you look at a fight and you judge a fighter, you judge him off of style. And you judge him based off of the style of the fighter that he's going in the ring with. That's solely what I'm speaking to. And when we're speaking to styles right here, what does Tyson Fury do in this fight that is going to prevent Dillian Whyte from getting inside of his phone booth, that is going to stop Dillian Whyte in his tracks, that is going to stop Dillian Whyte and make Dillian Whyte honest here? I haven't seen anything. Shit, he couldn't hurt Vladimir Klitschko. Chisora, he had to hit him with freaking umpteen punches. But that was a different type of Tyson Fury. That Tyson Fury's got to come down. He's got to cut a lot off. Is he capable of doing that in this fight? He's a stationary target, dude. No matter how people want to see it or not. I don't know what people... If people are perceiving that they're going to get this floating the butterfly, sting like a bee type Tyson Fury, okay, cool. But I want to know, how long does it last? And if you're doing all of that and it's not working in your favor to where you're hurting the guy, or you can stop the guy, then what does that usually mean in heavyweight boxing? He can stop you. I'm just saying. The game is going to be a lot different. He's cutting off the ring a lot different. The pressure is going to be a lot different. And the punch is going to be something that we're really going to be able to look at and judge and be able to say, how long can Tyson Fury deal with this? We're going to be able to judge it on both sides. When it comes to them getting in the ring, all I'm saying is I just see more pros in Dillian Whyte's favor. And the dude has nothing to lose. And to be perfectly honest, it has nothing to do with arbitration. It has nothing to do with legal issues. It has nothing to do with him getting finger fucked over and over and over and over by the WBC. It solely has to do with you're supposed to sharpen your tools. How has Tyson Fury been sharpening his? Who has he fought to sharpen his? Who has he fought to get him ready? I mean, shit, he's got Jared Big Baby Anderson coming in his camp, but okay. What does that mean? The Tyson Fury we've seen doesn't give us anything to go off of where we say, hey, there's a significant upper hand here. When I speak on Usyk versus Tyson Fury and I speak on Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, it becomes two completely different things. Two completely different fighters. He's got a lot to lose. And he can lose it. All I'm saying is if you're a smart man, you're going to bet your money on Dillian Whyte. And that don't even mean that he wins. But I'm leaning to he has the better chance of getting it done in this fight. No bullshit. No bullshit. Stylistically, this is bad for Tyson. This is bad. I mean, really, really bad for Tyson Fury. Yeah, he do. Yeah, he do. No hate, though. No hate. I'm just telling you what I seen. And if anybody's on my Twitter page, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And on top of that, like, anybody watch Mike Montero's lives? Mike Montero said, man, dude, man, look, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. This is treading into dangerous depths in deep fucking water, dude. It means a lot. It means a lot in heavyweight boxing, y'all, when a guy can hurt you with any punch and the other guy can't. That shit means a lot. Because it means he has the ability and the capabilities to stop you at any given time. Tyson Fury doesn't have those capabilities, man. And I'm not just going to grab I'm not just going to reach for a money tree. Basically what I'm saying is something that isn't even there, something that's a figment of our imagination, and try to pull some type of skill or pull some fucking power out of the fucking thin air of the sky that isn't really there. The only thing that I'm pulling from what I've been given, what I've been privy to, what are his tendencies in the ring. And all I see is in this fight, there's only one or two things. Yo, you can box him up and tie him up. Or you can go in there. Tyson Fury don't have the chin, nor the ability or need to even want to go in there. It's been proven. So all I'm saying is, this shit is really, yo, I can't wait to see it, because it's going to be really good. No matter how it slices, it's going to be extremely good. But my best bet for Tyson Fury, box him up and tie him up and try to win the fight by 12 rounds. That's the only way I feel like he's winning this fight, because he's not going to stop him. You're going to have to try to outbox him and tie him up, and hope that you can avoid it. Hope that you can avoid the bomb that is going to come. Right hand, left hand, right body, left body, solar plexus. You're going to have to try to avoid the bomb for 36 minutes. 36 minutes avoiding the bomb against a guy who's been fighting nothing but top ops. And hurting them motherfuckers too. And a guy who's been getting better and better. And a guy who's been salivating and waiting on this opportunity for a fucking long time. I don't know if he's more well-rounded, Jeff. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's as far as does athletically speaking, yes, Tyson Fury is a more well-rounded guy. We've seen two different types of Tyson Fury. But that's where I lean my criticism. And that's where, I have these question marks. Is it going to be to box him up and tie him? Is it going to be boxing him up, tying him up, being a nuisance and just trying to sting him all night and just win by points? Or is it going to try to lean your weight on him and maul him and try to fatigue him and try to stop him? I don't know if the second thing that I said, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. It seems like the first thing that I mentioned, boxing him up, tying him up, and just being a nuisance with the jab, is where he would find a majority of his success in this fight. Now, anybody would feel different, and anybody could, speak differently towards the situation, and I absolutely respect it all, because I'm up for how anybody sees the game plan. If you're coming from a place of just having 2 feet on planet Earth. But all I'm saying is, the trainer that he's with now, they're working and being optimal at around 270 to 275 pounds. That's their safe space. But to be quite frank, I feel like that would be a safe space for Dillian Whyte as well. I don't know Tyson Fury to pump no iron. I don't know Tyson Fury to lift no weights like that. And I damn sure don't know Tyson Fury to hurt anybody with one punch power. So it leaves me in the realm of the unknown. And honestly, I just feel like, I don't know, man. I really just don't know, dude. This is a sticky one for him. This is a sticky situation. Fury might win a decision, but he's going to get beat up. Yeah, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get touched. Like, believe it or not, they both going to get swole up for real. Tyson's going to jab him, try to keep him off of him, hook off around the glove. You know what I mean? Try to tie him up on the inside real quick. Be quick about his work. Bop, bounce outside. Bop, bop, jab him. Keep the long range, keep the distance. I just feel like that would be the most successful approach. The safest approach. The smartest approach. Get behind the old crunk 1-2, baby. But that is yet to be seen. So we're going to have to find out on April 23rd. That's all I got for you guys tonight. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing. You pay a nigga no mind. Respect to everybody who came in the building tonight. We got a lot of great fights going on and coming up. I got a lot of great work for you guys in store, man. We're just going to keep building and getting bigger and getting better, man. And I hope boxing goes right along with us. Respect to everyone. Peace and blessings.